Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and today I want to talk about some comic book properties to do with Marvel movies. Now, essentially, I've read a couple articles recently that have basically said the producers behind such movies as X-Men First Class and its upcoming really awesome sounding sequel, Days of Future Past, which is purported to bridge the gaps between the Bryan Singer films and X-Men First Class. So I'm just uber stoked for that. Patrick Stewart's on board, and hell yes. But, essentially the producer behind that, as well as somebody involved with the Avengers, would really love to see those two properties meet on film. And the question I have is this something people would really want to see? And would it work? More importantly, because quite frankly, one of the arguments I hear a lot, or complaints, with the last X-Men film before First Class, X3 or whatever it was, X-Men United, I can't remember what the hell it was called, but I enjoyed that film, but I think it was a fair criticism to say there was just an overabundance of mutant characters, most of which, blink and you'll miss. You weren't sure who they were unless you could play a sort of guessing game and you were a comic book fan and you could pick up on who they were based on their character traits. And that would be a large problem I could foresee in a movie pairing the X-Men with the Avengers characters, because you have the Avengers, you had a nice cut of 7 characters in Avengers, and they all had their individual movies, so you were familiar with them. But with the X-Men, you're just kind of you're only aware of like the top key players in each story, and you have a lot of background filler. So how would they manage that exactly? And the thing is, a lot of the articles do point out that because X-Men is under Fox and Avengers is under Disney, it's highly unlikely to ever happen anyway, put it that way. But I think it is an interesting question, and especially for those who have really enjoyed the Avengers versus X-Men comic arc. I haven't experienced that at all, but I'm sure people would, flock to the theaters to see this. But the thing is, as I say, it could be really weighed down, it could be really muddled, and I'd be afraid that it would be too convoluted a story to excuse why all of these different characters would be in one big movie. And of course, there's the whole legal ties between two different production companies owning the rights to the characters, and just, it seems like a whole can of worms that could potentially unfold. So basically, I leave it to you guys. I'd love to hear from you what you think about it all. Would you pay to see an X-Men and Avengers movie where they both are on screen? Would you basically, is that something you want? I mean, do you think it's a good idea? Would you rather them just stick with their sort of Marvel Phase 2 plan and not have the X-Men involved? That kind of thing. I'd really love to hear what you think about it, because for me, I'm kind of up in the air. I just think there's pros and cons on each side, and I think the cons are slightly outweighing the pros, for me at least. So, yeah, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below or as a video response as usual. And otherwise, I'll catch you later. Peace.